Today on Food Journey, we're unraveling the mechanisms of weight loss with Dr. Alera Roberts as she answers the questions we want to ask. We'll be counting on huge measures of nutritious food to satisfy your taste buds and your tummy. Dr. Alera Roberts, it's such a pleasure to have you back again on Food Journey. You're welcome.
Thank you so much for having me again. It means I did a good job last time.
Well, today I would love to ask you some questions which I feel are really important for this episode, which is talking about weight loss mechanisms. And when I say the word mechanisms, I'm talking about all the things that go behind losing weight. We're talking about calories specifically and how to manipulate them for your benefit when one is trying to lose weight. So I think the first question that I really want to ask is if you could explain to us what a calorie is. What does that word mean and how does it affect us?
Well, to put it very, very simply, it's a unit of measurement of energy. And there's calories that you take in, which is like income, and there are calories that you expend, which is like your expenditure in forms of exercise and physical activity. And then the income are the calories you take in the form of food and drink.
So calories matter, and all of our food has its measure of them. It's the quality of the calorie which is important to focus on as we walk towards healthier food choices. Are there a certain number of calories that a person should take in to thrive during the course of the day? Now, I know that has a lot to do with what you actually do with your day. Could you break that down a little bit for us?
Sure. So through the course of life, from cradle to grave, you will require a certain number of calories every day just to be alive. Adult males need between 2,200 and 2,500 calories a day just to be alive. Women need between 1,800 and 2,200 calories a day. Children tend to use a little less by virtue of their size and age. And then as you grow older and become a senior, you are now over 55 years of age, again, your calorie requirements tend to drop.
If you're eating less calories than you truly need, you're creating a calorie deficit.
A deficit as little as 100 calories a day, sustained over a period of time, you will lose weight. So the most and generally, one should be looking to eat a little less than you need in a day in order to lose weight. It's a very simple thing. The more calories you expend, the less calories you take in will equal weight loss. The less calories you expend, the more calories you take in will be weight gain.
Here are some facts about how many calories some of our foods have. Consider these as the choices anyone could make and approximate calorie value. If you research, you can chart your daily amounts and try to choose quality calories which will create a healthy deficit. A lot of people say that, I can't lose weight because everybody in my family is like that. We are all big. Is there a genetic disposition towards weight gain?
Yes, there is, and I will tell you why. Is there a specific gene that turns on weight gain? The research is ongoing. However, there is what we know as an obesogenic environment. So children who are born into a family that tends to eat more and do less, and then eat more of the wrong kinds of calories, are more likely to grow up overweight and be prone to all the diseases and morbidities of obesity and overweight. Whereas children who grow up in families that eat more sensibly, eat more healthily, and do a lot more activity, tend not to have weight issues, or at least overweight issues. So yes, in that way, and then you know, I mean, we're both guilty, I'm sure. At least I am, I confess. When you look at people and what they buy in the supermarkets, if you look in the supermarket baskets, you can see immediately that the mother who is on the big side is buying stuff that is not exactly healthy. She's buying a lot of sugary stuff. She's buying a lot of stuff with oils and things, and she's not buying the healthy stuff for whatever reason. Whereas you look at other baskets and you can see there's more of the healthy stuff, more of the fruits and veg, and so on and so forth. So in that regard, yes, there tends to be that. You could call that a genetic predisposition. It's the nurturing gene over the nature gene.
How important is it for us to take control of the quality of calories that we take into our body? Because 100 calories of chocolate and 100 calories of lettuce are two different things.
Yes, it is absolutely imperative that we begin to take responsibility for the nature of the fuel we take into our bodies. It's a simple thing. You are what you eat. And in these days of increased stress and you know, the increase in the morbidities, the hypertension, the type 2 diabetes, the cancers, the cardiovascular diseases that we're seeing, and the cost of access to healthcare, if by eating the right things, you can reduce your exposure to these health conditions, then why not?
So what should we be choosing? Whole foods, and also as close to their natural form as possible. It's a journey to wean yourself off of processed foods completely, but limitation is the word of the day.
Then eat what we call one ingredient foods. So simple example, eba, single ingredient, gari. You know, when you do that, if you have yam is either boiled or pounded, less of the fried, please, or roasted, fantastic. Plantains, roasted or boiled. Number 2, cut out sugar. Sugar is one of the major problems that we have, because in the last 25 years, Nigerians have been eating 2 to 3 to 4 times more sugar than we ever used to eat. You know, instead of drinking water, we're having a soft drink.
Right.
We're having a packaged fruit juice. Everything is laden with sugar. You know, we're eating small chops, which is all either fried or sugary or both, instead of the natural snacks that we used to eat, like bolly and groundnuts. Yeah. Before starting any weight management program, you must consult a professional. And obviously, I'm going to say, see your family physician, and see a nutritionist, certainly, a dietitian, certainly, because many people who are overweight and want to start a weight management program, obviously they know they need to start one, and then they've been told they need to start one, and you know, most and generally have had a diagnosis made of either hypertension or type 2 diabetes or some kind of cardiovascular disease or osteoarthritis of the knees.
Now let's talk about quick fixes. I'm going to just do a little sweep through the popular ones. Can I lose belly fat if I drink lemon water, hot lemon water every morning?
No. Simple answer. No, 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 no.
How about the onlys? Only eating protein, only eating carbohydrates, only eating vegetables.
Again, no. These are the so-called quick fix faddy diets that I was talking about that give you some temporary success, but eventually they're unsustainable and you're going to revert back to your normal eating habits because you haven't built a lifestyle modification of good eating, and therefore you're going to end up putting back all the weight lost and some. So no, faddy diets do not work.
Now how about water? Water, our life force. I believe we're about 75% water in our bodies.
Pretty much.
How important is it in your weight loss plan, or just for life, to drink as much water as possible?
Certainly extremely important in our climate. It's very, very, very difficult to drink too much water because don't forget, because of the heat and the sweating, you've got what we call insensible water loss. You're losing water just by sitting and being in temperatures this high. And all that needs to be replaced. And then a lot of times, people don't realize they're mistaking thirst for hunger. And my simple advice is that every time you feel like eating something, first have a glass of water. And I really don't mind whether it's room temperature water, slightly chilled, very cold, whatever is your preference. Drink a lot more water first. And then figure out whether you really are hungry or whether you really were just giving your body what it needed, water.
Exercise is essential for proper and maintained weight loss. We all know that. We've all heard that. But practically speaking, it's a lot more difficult to do and to achieve and to maintain. What do you feel is the biggest setback when one is embarking on an exercise plan?
Very interesting that you should ask that, because I'm going to now say and draw the distinction between exercise and physical activity. You go to the gym, you go and pay for an expensive gym membership. You go to the gym for the first time, and you've got a personal trainer who puts you on an absolutely impossible regime. We've all seen the adverts on television. And of course, you feel bad. You can't keep up, you're in pain, do yourself some damage, and that's the end of that gym membership.
And you just don't come back.
And you just don't come back. Whereas, if we were to look more closely at physical activity and find ways we can increase your physical activity throughout the day, every day, and build it into a lifestyle, you're more likely to expend calories in a very healthy manner and in a manner that can be sustained. Because when we say exercise as part of a weight management program, number one, the exercise has to be sustained. It must be consistent. And the easiest and best thing that anybody can do is walking. Walking.
And that's a start, isn't it? More water, more movement, quality calories. Dr. Alera Roberts, I'd like to thank you so much for coming and speaking to us today about a very important underlying subject in connection with weight loss. And I know that you've helped so many people out there today to dispel some myths and put people on the right track towards success. Thank you so much.
Thank you once again for having me.
Hello and welcome to the Food Journey Kitchen. After that insightful conversation with the doctor, I thought it might be interesting to address one of the issues that one finds oneself dealing with when going on a reduced calorie diet. That is hunger and satisfaction. How do I get the right things into my body but still feel that fullness and that satisfaction that I really crave? Restricting calories, we already know, doesn't mean compromising taste. And today, I'll show you how to build up quality calories and bulk. Our quality calories today are coming from these variety of vegetables. And for our energy, we're going to be using beautiful bow tie pasta. The important thing to note is that when we are counting calories, we're measuring. We're measuring everything. All our ingredients have a calorie allocation, and these need to be measured for accuracy if you're being diligent about your intake. So we're measuring everything today, and that includes this beautiful bow tie pasta. I love these, such a pretty shape. And we need 2 cups. So I've measured out 1 cup here and just Going to tip that in. This is also another cup, and that will represent our pasta. There's quite a lot of pasta in there, believe it or not. It's going to make us nice and full, I'm sure. Lots of energy. Close it and let it boil. We can get on with the other things now. Okay. We're going to be making a sauce out of tomatoes. So really, I just want to get off that bit at the top, which makes it a little bit harder to blend. You can dig it out, or you can just simply cut it off like I'm doing. And we're just placing these. Everything is measured. So what we want at the end of the day is 1 cup of tomato puree. So there we go. Adding a little pinch of salt to that. Salt has no calories, but still we have to use it in moderation. So there we go, that's 1 bit. Okay, we can move that to the side. Next, look at this cauliflower. We love cauliflower. And again, since this is measured, we'll be using a certain amount. How do we get into this? Well, just chop off the base like that, and you can see all the beautiful florets. So into the second part of our steamer, just breaking off some florets. This amount should do. Once we cook, we're going to cut it and measure it as well. So you've got 2 vegetables going on there, 1 here, and this one will go on top. Cover it up, add some water to the base, and steam. Too easy. You don't want too much water. For me, usually about 1/4 full is enough. Perfect. Flavor is so important, and it's beautiful when it's really tangible. And I really want to squash your preconceived notions that all diet food has to be blah. Okay, we're going to need some garlic, and because I'm really big on flavor, I want to make sure that we've got the most pungent garlic possible, and what better than our own local variety. So all I'm doing here is this hard bit's got to come off, but I'm leaving the skins on. Why? Because we're going to toast them up and get them nice and soft and sweet inside, so we can use that for our sauce. So how much garlic? There's never too much garlic. Let's just put it that way. All these cloves are going in. It's a lot of garlic. Okay, so it's so easy. Dry pan, and I like to use a non-stick. Just drop it in. And on a medium to low flame, we're just going to allow it to toast up. And we're just going to keep agitating it, flipping it around like that, and watching it for brownness. Okay, so you can see that these pieces have now gotten nice and toasty. Whoop, they're hot, but you can see, there you go, the brownness and the softness going on there. These are almost ready, and that took about 5 minutes. Raw ingredients like these onion petals will be a start of the diversity of whole foods that we'll be using today. I just think the color is so important when you're presenting food. Let's always make sure that our food is nice and colorful. There's no excuse for it not to be, because we have so much beauty with our food here in Nigeria. Cubing the peppers is also going to make it easier to measure them. Okay, so there are the beauties. Just give them a nice mash, and I'll show you how easy it is. Look at that. Everything is just getting really mashed up and smells lovely too. Our pasta is ready to be drained, leaving us a very hefty portion, as are the tomatoes, soft and ready to be blended. Our now delicately steamed cauliflower can be cut with care and is easier to measure as well at this point. One of my favorite vegetables are cucumber. Why? Because they're mostly made up of water, and that makes them really ideal for salads. Guilt-free stuff, tastes fantastic. I think this about does it. Time to make our sauce. Okay. Let's make this lovely dressing that's going to go on all our beautiful vegetables and pasta. So, measuring cup, my friend today, and we need 1 cup of this tomato puree. So, I'll pour. Let's look from the side. There's our 1 cup, and we're pouring that in. The big flavor coming from the lovely garlic going in now. And just scrape that all out and get it all in like so. And I'm going to give this a little mix and really spend a minute or so just making sure that I've got all the garlic incorporated. And as you continue mixing with the other additions, everything will come together as well. So that's that. Okay, I'm going with some pinches now of other flavorings. Chili. Let's give this all a nice mix. And you can see that we've got lots of flavor building up within that. Beautiful. Where are we going next? Some other major measurements that have to happen. We're using honey, and we are going to be using a teaspoon of that. This is a teaspoon, and we're going to measure. Here we go. There we are. Just allow that to just drip in. Brilliant. Brilliant. I'm wanting to go for half a cup for my calculations, but because I don't want too much onion in, guess what? I'm just not doing as much of them. And that's how you take care of that. All that's left now is a little mix and serve. Now that's a whopping great main meal, or one meal under 280 calories for 2 people. I hope you've enjoyed yourself in the kitchen today with this nice recipe and also learned a lot from the good doctor. I'm wishing you a fantastic and healthy week, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Food Journey has a new Instagram. It's FOODJERNY @Food Journey. So if you were following us before, please come and follow us here now.